Hey, so just like the majority of you that have probably clicked this link for the same reason, I'm a massive minifigure collector and a massive Lego fan in general. I've been picking it up for the last 4 to 5 years, and I've kind of got really hardcore into it again at the start of this year, especially when I saw these guys, the new DC minifigures. I know they're expensive, I know everyone talks about how expensive they are, but I love anything Marvel or DC, anything comic book related at all. So I started collecting with these, and then I've kind of been buying loads of the series on eBay, and I want to try and get every single series, including the movies, the Ninjago, Batman, all those. So I thought I would go through this collection, and then maybe if people are liking these videos and how I do them, I will carry on with the other series. Okay, so first up we have Mr. Miracle. As you can see, he is bright red and green. I absolutely love the chains in which you put around him to make him look like one of the famous comic book covers in which he's on. Next here we have Wonder Woman. This is one of the earlier versions of Wonder Woman. She has the skirt, which I believe is the same skirt used for the Minnie Mouse and for Alice in Wonderland and the Disney sets. I think this is becoming a more common piece now. As you can see there's her second facial expression, and there's the back printing as well. Next we have Aquaman. Now he's completely different to the current movies that we had. As you can see, he's got the harpoon as his left hand. So I think this is one of the ones from the early 1990s. And for some reason he also has a fish in this really cool green colour. And there's his secondary head face print. A bit more happy. That's why I put the other one on. I prefer more the angry looking versions of these guys. Okay, this is definitely a minifigure we haven't seen before from anything like this. Never even heard of this character. She looks like a female version of Captain America, which is actually known as Stargirl. There you go, and as you can see, she has her braces in. Very cool. Like I said, I don't know much about this character at all, but it's really cool to have one that's in the set that you don't often get in many other sets. Now here's a cool figure that's definitely welcomed. This is obviously Green Lantern's arch nemesis, Sinestro. And there you go, there's the alternate face as well, which is more of a normal, cocky looking face. But I preferred the other one. I just think it looks cooler on display, showing off more of his different look. Here we have Cheetah. Now she looks really cool with all this printing down her. And I think they've done a really good job with all the printing. And then the cheetah tail. She also has Money Bag, which is often used in Lego City for rubbish bins or Santa's sack and things, but here they've got a unique print where it's got a dollar bill sign with 2 lines through it to make it as a money. This one here definitely needs no introduction. It's Superman. Done in a fairly recent looking costume actually. This is the Rebirth costume, I believe. So it's very similar to the ones from the movies, which is a little bit disappointing. I prefer to see more of a retro Superman. And here's his other face here, looking pretty normal, which is why I like the laser eye one, to make it a little bit different from all the other Superman. Okay, here's Green Lantern. Very similar to Sinestro in the fact that he has the ring as well. Different ring, obviously, but the same use of the pieces. He has the Green Lantern, obviously, hence the name. And he has dual molded arms and dual molded legs. And his detailing is very subtle, but it is there. And I do like the back printing on his head as well. I didn't need to do that, but that just looks really cool how it flows up with the back of the neck. Very cool. And he's probably my favourite minifigure in this collection, actually, just because I think it's a really cool version of Green Lantern. This one is another one of my favourites. This is obviously Cyclops, but I really love what they've done with the mask helmet here, where they've actually used an existing minifigure hairpiece, but then added the dual moulding with the Cyclops helmet to the side. It looks really cool. Not Cyclops, sorry, Cyborg helmet to the side. Very, very cool. And then he's got dual molded arms, no dual molded legs, but that's mainly because most of it is actually silver. Only slight touches of the skin. Another minifig that definitely doesn't need any introductions. This is Batman, but it's an earlier Batman. I think it's one from the original time he's seen in Detective Comics. So he has a really cool blue batarang and purple gloves. And he has a really unique cowl, which is completely different to all the other ones he's had in the past. And then he has one of these link whips, which I've obviously used in Spider-Man a lot as well, in different colours, but this is a black one. He's got dual molded legs and Just a very, very cool minifigure in total. One of my favorites. Here we have Huntress with her crossbow, which is one of the older ones that used to be used by Chewbacca. It's done in the gunmetal. And she has the new cloth cape, which is also what Batman and Superman had in this collection. In fact, the only one that didn't have that was Mr. Miracle, which was the first minifigure I showed. He has a thinner cloth, and I think that's because of he has two capes put on, so it would make the minifigure's head way too high off the body. But she also has a utility belt, which ironically Batman should also probably have, but he doesn't. Here's a second facial expression, more normal. Like I said, I've done more of the teeth ones showing because I think they look cool and more combat ready. All in all, very nice figure. Now, I absolutely love what LEGO have done with this character. I don't like his facial expression, but this is Metamorpho done in a really cool way. So he's got a clear leg on one hand, which then has prints on it to make it look like the eyes. Very cool. And I love what they've done with this Thanos style glove by painting it pink and tying it all together. This guy's obviously another fan favorite, the Joker. Now he's done in minifig form a lot, so I'm kind of glad that they've kind of gone with this more weird looking one, which is, I believe, from the Dark Knight Returns comic series. Now he is quite bulky in that and got quite a skinny body, but then muscular top frame. But to be honest, I think it still works really well in minifigure form like this. And I'm not quite sure why he's got the candy floss, but again, it's a really cool piece, which is using a beehive painted in pink and then added like a minifigure head on the top to finish it off. Here is Bumblebee. She's got a butterfly wings, but done in this kind of transparent with really cool printing on them. And she's got the Emperor's lightning bolts by the looks of it, but done in a yellow. There we go, which again is another kind of smirk, just like the rest of them. Oh no, another really cool minifigure. This one's another very famous character, obviously, which is the Flash, but done in a retro mode here. 1940s style, really, really cool. And I love what they've done with these lightning flashes in the back to show him running. And I really like his unique helmet. He's obviously got dual molded legs. And the rest of him is very simple, but it's very how it was in 1940s drawings of him, so I don't mind that at all. It's very consistent. And last but not least is Batmite. He's appeared in a lot of the LEGO games, so it's quite cool to have him in minifig form now. He's a character that idolizes Batman, if I remember rightly. As you can see, he's got the new cloth cape as well. And a really cool piece, which again, this is another character I want to get another one of, is that Detectives Comics first edition. That is so cool with Batman on the front. I definitely want to get another one of those if I decide to make a comic book store in my LEGO city. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I display them. Now this is an IKEA frame. I think they're called Ribber. And they're really small, 25 centimeters by 25 centimeters. So very small and compact. And if you do it like this, if you use the 3 squares, you can actually then use a minifigure base stand like this. And you can use the minifigure base stand in which they come on to put away. Now, the problem with this is that there's glass usually here, and I've removed the glass just for simplicity. Now you can keep it without the glass on. Problem then is it's a bit of a dust magnet, so I've just removed the glass to show you. But basically, I'm going to show you how to put each one of these characters in because they are some of them are a bit of a ball ache. So I wanted to show you how I get around putting them into the frame. So first is obviously Mr. Miracle. He's very simple. He's got no accessories or anything, so he just simply goes on. Now Wonder Woman, she's pretty simple as well, but you just have to make sure that her arm is straight and the lasso goes behind her, because that can knock onto the glass and it just doesn't look very good or scrunched up. Aquaman, again, with the fish, you want to make sure the fish is flat and straight and then everything else is down, and other than that, he's pretty easy to put into the frame as well. Next we have Stargirl. Now again, she's very easy with her accessory, but you just have to make sure that her staff is straight and the pointy bit is on an angle, which looks better anyway. Next is Sinestro. Now, you just have to make sure his ring is perfectly straight, and it should be okay. He has got a few problems popping off, but it should be okay as long as you make sure it's all perfectly straight. Right, Now we come into the first complicated one. This is Cheetah, and because she has her tail sticking out the back, she won't fit on without having an extra piece. A lot of people do, where they put an extra piece on to push her forward like that so she stays on. The problem with that is, I find, is A, they're smacking their head into glass because you wouldn't be able to have her piece out like this, her bag. And also, it just doesn't look cool when you've got one minifigure that's a different height to all the others. So the way I get around these, if I can, which I can with her because her face can rotate, is I actually rotate the face around to the side and the head, and then I put her in a stand that makes her look like she's actually stealing the money, which is the whole point of it. And then she can easily fit in to the case. Next we have Superman. Now the problem that I have with putting these newspaper items like this on them is, yes, it looks really nice, but the problem is that they often ping off and you can't get them set up properly. So a way around that is actually to use one of the tiny studs. And if you put that on his hand first, you can see it makes it a lot easier. You can swivel it round, have it however you want, and it doesn't knock into the minifigure. Right, next we have Green Lantern. Again, I just make sure he's exactly the same, but I've just put the lantern in the other arm just to make it look a little bit different. Next is Cyborg. Now I've connected his purple lead together. Again, as long as it's not going over the base plate, it should be all good. Then Batman. Now Batman has this weird bit which I try and loop around, but other than that, make sure his batarang's straight and it's on view. His cowl's all straight. There we go. Next is Huntress. She's pretty okay. She hasn't got any major pieces. Again, I just make sure the crossbow's down. In fact, I think the crossbow pings back a little bit on this character. There we go. There we go. And then the next is Metamorpho. Again, he's really easy to do. Just make sure his fist is out the way of things. I think you'll be all right there. Then we've got the Joker. Now with the Joker, with these clip ones, I just anchor them like that so you can see them still. You can just have them stretching out if you want to, but I tend to leave it like that so you can see the actual print on them. And this cone is a little bit of annoyance. I think it does push him back, but I just try to give it some room so if the glass does push against it, then it should allow it just to go back and not to ping him off the stand. And Bumblebee, now I just put her lightning up and out the way and just put it so that you can still see her face when she's on straight. But other than that, she's pretty okay. The Flash is the other difficult character now because he's got these lightning beams. But again, if you saw what I did with the Cheetah, I just do the opposite because he actually has some room around here. And then Batmite is exactly the same as Superman. So I just got a yellow tab. It doesn't really matter, you don't see these anyway. And then you can easily angle it without it falling off to get it in the right position. As you see, you can't see that at all. There we go. And that is all the minifigures set up. So now I'm going to put the glass on and wrap up this video. And as you can see, they're all back in now with the glass on. None of them have fallen off. I don't know if you can see that, but they're all in there, neatly on display. And then this can go on the wall so it's out the way because I'm going to be collecting a lot of these minifigures. And I've already got quite a lot of these on display at the moment, so I'm going to take them all down and show you and go through the minifigures. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and this is a brand new channel. This is my first video on this channel. But I just thought I'd wanted to share my love of Lego. And I'm going to be wanting to do some Lego City updates, some Star Wars Legos, my big one. So I just thought, well, I might as well make videos about it. So yeah, that's the DC minifigures. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys have started collecting them, or let me know down in the comments which one's your favourite. But peace.